thank you, Bob, for allowing us to come into your wonderful studio and give us some time to talk about your music and your love for good sound, which is also my passions too. Although I'm nowhere near in the same league as a musician as you, but I really appreciate everything you've done. In fact, I've been listening to you since around 1973, 4, around then. And it's really strange how later in life we get to meet. And,
it really is. Well, Phil, I can just tell you I'm also honored, and it's a pleasure to have you here in my home studio. And I feel like you're kind of always here anyway, because I've got this representative of Fil Jones that lives with me when I make music, and this device is the last thing that separates my music from the listener, and it's the closest thing to the listener. So yes, it's very important to me, and I have appreciated getting to know you and your passion for making this part of the process as good as it can be. And I think I have a very special appreciation for that, because in my music I have always strived to keep the high standards. Both of us share this frustration that sometimes a lot of corners get cut, or people get more interested in quantity than in quality, and sometimes they listen to music in a very lo-fi kind of way. And you're the opposite of that. You want to make it the best that it can be, and I appreciate it.
I feel a lot of the time a lot of people around the globe never really hear how the music should sound as the artist intended it to be. And we go through all this incredible stage of practicing so hard and getting the best equipment, the best instruments, the best recording, and it ends up, being played on something that takes away, 99% of that. It takes away the soul, fabric of the art. And my goal is to bring that experience to people who are not going to be intimidated by the huge cost of expensive stereo equipment or the technical ability of setting it up, which is why I brought out this speaker here.
It's amazing, and I was very honored to discover that I was maybe one of the first, if not the first, in America to listen to it.
Yeah, you were
so that's
the first
incredible.
Before me. So, I heard it in my factory in
went
the
across
lab.
the ocean and arrived to me, so it was really amazing. And I had been having the privilege of owning in my studio your previous version of this, which was a little bigger and also an amazing sounding speaker that I have lived with for the last, 15 years maybe?
15 years, and before that we met through our mutual friend Nathan East, and I can't exactly remember how it happened, but we hooked up, and I came to your studio back then in New York.
Yes, I was in the middle of that project with Kirk Whalum called Joined at the Hip, and that was the first project that Ken Freeman, my engineer, that was his first project working for me that he had mixed. So we were early on in our professional relationship where we're dealing with sound, and Ken is the one that sends the sound into the speakers, and we talk about it, and we try to get it as faithful to the music as we possibly can. And this element of where we're listening, hoping for it to be accurate, hoping for it to really represent what we want the music to sound like, because ultimately it's going to end up on a CD and hundreds of different kinds of stereos that people are going to be listening from, some with no bottom end, some with hyped high end, and people listening in their cars and everything else. So at the professional side, at the mixing stage or in the creative stage, the accuracy is important. If the speaker's giving us back something distorted or whatever, or too much of one thing or another, by the time that translates to our finished product, it's going to be no man's land, I think.
Well, what I've noticed about your music in particular is that it is so full range, full frequency spectrum, from the lowest audio frequencies to the highest and everything in between. Not only that, it's the dynamic range you have on your on your music, and that taxes any audio system. And a lot of the time, as you know, in commercial recordings, they put in a lot of compression to allow the inferior audio equipment to handle that kind of signal.
Sure.
Compressed, low dynamic range signal is much easier to cope with than the very high fidelity, full dynamic range sound.
Yeah, and I do love the dynamics. I love to go from the softest whisper all the way to huge sounding things. I'm reminded of that story about the musician when they're telling him to play with more dynamics. And he said, well, what do you mean? I'm playing as loud as I can. So that's the way some people think. It's not with you, it's not just the ability to have it play loud. It's more that it's pure, that no matter whether you're playing it loud or soft, the sound is accurate and it's pure, and that's the way we feel about the music itself. We want it to be accurate.
Yeah, exactly. And also, you were telling me that your wonderful granddaughter, who's also an aspiring, fantastic musician, heard these speakers, and she actually, like Lady Gaga or something, and loved it. So it's not, this speaker isn't just for jazz or classical. If you like really great music and it's well recorded, then this is what you need to listen to.
Yeah, because she loves, and some of her Lady Gaga recordings and other stuff that she listens to from the pop rock world are very deep in the bass area.
Yeah.
And she was looking at this speaker thinking, well, hey, wait a minute, this is too small. Where are the subwoofers? Where's that bass sound coming from? Yeah. And I told her, hey, you're talking about Phil Jones here. He figures out a way. He loves bass. That's his life.
Well, I was a bass.
He plays the bass, and so he's got some kind of something in there that I hear the bottom end, and it's not just something that sounds forced. It really sounds natural, low end of the music. I don't know how you do it. That's your world, but whatever you did, it works.
That means we don't know what it is, but we do. Yeah. So that's it. Yeah, it's the new speaker. Bob's going to be putting his name on it because he likes it, and the reason why I designed speakers in the first place was because of his incredible music. I realized at a very young age I needed to get a better stereo, and I couldn't afford it, so I started building my own speakers, and that's how I got into it. So that's why it is, we've come full circle.
Really, and it really is the final stage of recorded music. Once you commit to having a microphone or having your music recorded, these days not on tape anymore, the way I remember it from the old days, but in the digital domain. My goal, and with whatever engineer I'm working with, usually Ken Freeman, or maybe it's Don Murray, sometimes with the Foreplay group, we are all trying our best to keep the standards of audio as high as we can all the way through the process, all the way to the listener.